because you have some ego issues because you weren't accepted
As
and
a
people
child.
rejected you based
Mm-hmm.
as a child. That's a lot of inner
Mm-hmm.
child healing that doesn't have to do with that person. So then you're
True.
wondering why all of these money and nice things aren't sustaining a relationship. And it's because, again, you weren't in tune with yourself in the first place. And you're looking for
Exactly.
all of this materialistic validity.
Are we
Yep.
saying
And
that
then, man,
men
you
with
gotta
money
also
are a prize?
understand.
Are
Men
we
have
saying
to
that? Oh,
understand. Men have to understand these women that you are attracting, that's because of the vibration you're putting out. So if you're attracting
exactly.
women that are only looking at you as a meal ticket, then sir, you gotta look with deep within. Like, why am I only attracting women who feel like I'm a meal ticket?
Because they
Why
think
can't
And
I
they
that's
see?
meal
vice versa,
tickets.
And
though.
vice versa.
Because
That's
That's
if
vice
you're
vice
versa.
vice
if you're
versa.
not self-aware, that's what it leads to. If you're not self-aware, you won't realize what you're attracting, and you won't realize why. So that's why I was saying, like, you really do have to get in yourself to know what you're offering. What is the prize if you don't know what you have innately
To
in you
offer.
to offer to
Yeah.
somebody?
I think just really quick for the moderators, I think you might want to reset the room. I see a lot of new people, and I think all of the contributions are great, but also just kind of like getting people back on the page of what the conversation
Fair.
kind of was.
So,
I mean, Bola, you be hopping in and saying stuff like meal ticket, but realistically, what everybody was on at one point.
all right. So, Skylar, go ahead and reset the room. I like the way you break it down for them.
All right, so conversation started as recognizing that men have been in pursuit of women as the general dynamic of relationships and in the pursuit of relationships, and then being black males in Atlanta, there being a statistical anomaly. Um, Niggas realizing the game has changed, and we are also prizes. And so that there's a mind shift, there's a paradigm shift in men, and now the question posed to the women in the room generally is, how do you respond to this newfound mindset?
Can I say something? Um,
No, I
well,
just reset the room. So, is it on topic?
I mean, yeah, if I just text to say something.
Go ahead.
Um, I just feel like people have different perspectives from where they come from. You know what I'm saying? And like, I just was listening to like a lot of the things that a lot of you like a lot of the things that the guy said, and like where I'm from, it's kind of like rough. I'm from New Orleans. Like, I ain't never talked to no dude like, none of you guys. I'm kind of, and I hate to say it, but like, I'm kind of a victim of my environment. You know what I'm saying? And with that being said, like, sometimes, people are not properly taught, but I actually feel like that that the status that's on the top of this thing that it say we men are actually the prize. Like, I don't feel like that's no shit that like niggas is just starting to feel. Like, I feel like a lot of men been feeling like that. Maybe not you
Facts.
guys per se, which is why I didn't even really know if I even wanted to like speak on this panel. Like, I slick just wanted to get down because I was just like, this shit don't really relate to me because I don't like speaking on shit that I've never experienced. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a person who classifies things as everybody because like I have not dealt with every guy in the world, so I'm not gonna classify every guy as one thing or every female is one thing. But I just feel like the guys that I have ran into and like a vast majority of like upper echelon guys, like they already feel like this. And like, they use certain things to attract women, which is like a lot of men mostly like money and stuff, and then like get mad like when that's all a bitch want to use them for. And vice versa with women who use their body to get a nigga and then be mad when all the nigga want to do is fuck. But I just feel like men already feel like that they're valued as the prize, and they use things like money to dictate and give leverage for shit that they do in relationships. Like, it's a lot of men with the mentality that, bitch, you shouldn't be saying nothing or having no problem with nothing I do because I pay all the bills. Like,
But why is it
and
like that?
I
If people
hold on.
guys are doing stuff that works, like there's
Yes,
no
I
reason
feel like
Future
it's
should
like
have
Mm.
that
12 baby
because
mamas.
it. I feel like it's
Period.
like that because that all stems back from slavery and like our grandmother's mentality. Like, the average black woman,
That's
right?
facts.
So all you black ladies in here, the average black woman, my nigga, if she go talk to another black woman, right? Like if I go talk to my aunt who's 60 years old, and I tell my aunt like, yo, I'm with this man, you know what I'm saying? And all she see from the outside in is this man. He he supports me financially, and we're in a stable situation, you know what I'm saying? But I'm telling her like, auntie, like, I'm not in love with this man. Like, I don't really feel like, you know what I'm saying, he the one for me. Like, my 6-year-old aunt would tell me like I could learn to love that man. So like that shit come from like a slavery man
If
said,
you are
oh,
talking, I'm
it
sorry. Can you
it
mute your mic, please?
that come from a place where um like women were not naturally, like, from the past, looked at as providers. Like, bitches kind of just stayed home and cooked and cleaned and shit like that with that mentality, and men went out and they worked or whatever. And all our grandmas had like a husband, and he had 3 families living down the street, but he was taking care of all of them, so nobody was saying shit and acting like they didn't know that their kids were siblings. Like, and we live in a more empowered world now where women are actually getting off their asses and doing shit and becoming millionaires and becoming big entrepreneurs. But like, men are still having a mentality that we're supposed to look the other way because they doing things. So like, it's crazy like when I hear men saying, oh, well, I want a woman that do X, Y, and Z. And it's just like, but them not even the women that you going for. And it's the same thing with women, because you guys, to me, from what I see and what I heard, I think all you guys are awesome and intelligent guys, you know what I'm saying? And
Thank you.
I
I
think you guys
appreciate that for
articulate
sure.
well, and you guys are kind of woke and into things, and you guys are a small percentile. So when you guys are talking about things, you guys have to kind of use a lot of the if it don't apply, let it fly, because it's a lot of shit that's never gonna apply to y'all. Like, it's nothing personal with you guys. Like, y'all are only like a one percentile. Like, for each one of you, it's like 1,000 niggas to each one of you. Like, and that shit crazy to me. But that's just how it is, and that's how the world's set up, and that's what us women allow. And as far as long as it's women out here saying shit like, oh, it don't matter, he pay all my bills, or oh, I ain't tripping, bitch, because he always come back to me, or that nigga ain't gonna never stop fucking with me. Like, until that shit stop, that shit right there never gonna stop. But me personally, I just feel like men already feel like that they're the prize, because it's so many women to one man. Like, to the point where the average dude, like, if Omizi was currently dealing with me, Lydia, and Megan, right, in real life,
Sound like
and
sound about
and
right.
and and he basically came to the
It
point,
sounds like a whole
like,
lot of wrong.
well, he basically came to the point where, like, niggas are really sit each one of them down, like, I'm in love with all y'all, like, and them bitches are really figure that shit out, and really still fuck with the nigga. Like, that's the times we living in right now. Like, that for real, bro. Like,
That's true.
my partner just told his bitch he fucked her mom, and they still about to get married. My nigga, like, we live in them type of
Hey,
times right now.
wild
So
shit.
Hey, does he
that
have a
shit just,
pamphlet or a handbook out?
That's
huh?
true though.
Oh my god.
That she told the
But
truth.
But I don't know. That's just my take on it. And I don't really like to speak on things that I have not experienced. And again, like, where I'm at with it right now, I'm kind of like a victim of my environment. Like, I kind of attract what I come from. So, like, until like I experience otherwise, like, then I'll touch back on the topic with y'all. But I haven't.
Is this the
Hey,
real
we gotta
Tokyo
change
for
our
real?
environment, sis.
Nah, you have valid points. You have
Hey
valid
man,
points.
that was some real shit. Shout
If
So
out.
it
can
can
I
exactly, it
can I
goes towards
interject here?
what's up?
So yeah, I like to interject. I've been actually listening for quite a while. For starters, I just want to unpack. We quote the men are actually the prize. Let's be clear. The covenant is the prize, right? Um, that is the the
Oh, Lydia,
I
I think you
think
got muted, Lydia.
yeah, I think
Oh,
she
we didn't mute you. I
muted.
think
Oh,
you
I'm
muted
sorry.
yourself.
I'm sorry. So yeah, I just wanted to say that the covenant is actually the prize, you guys, right? Finding a man and a woman in their divine feminine and masculine energy bonded together is what promotes balance. is what promotes peace, right? I think I've heard, this equally yoked word, this term being thrown around, but we don't really realize that equality is a theoretical terminology. It is not something that was ever designed to be in practice because it does not promote balance. It does not promote peace. So for the men, right? I know you guys are saying that you are 1% out of a vast million population of melanin men. Yes, you are. But this idea that you shouldn't be intentional in your pursuit of a woman does not create balance. It actually goes against fundamentally what you need. Men require respect and women require love. Those are two very different things. And those are the things that actually create the balance in which we all need to, make it through this social experiment called life. And so when we're putting all these material or surface preferences on the table, we're removing a person's ability to be who they are versus what they do or what they have. And that is why divorce, finances is one of the number one causes for divorce, because people are focusing on what can you do for me? What do you bring to this table? They're not focused on who are you? What is the content of your character? These are the things that going to get you to a long lasting covenant. So I think from jump on a fundamental level, we're having the wrong conversation.
Major facts.
That's big facts. I ain't gonna lie.
I
Hey, I
agree.
just want to say I disagree on one point. I think both men and women both require love and respect. It's not just like unidirectional; it's bidirectional on both of those. But other than that, I pretty much agree.
And to my I guess for me, there's a question to ask earlier, like what do I see as a prize, or what do we see as a prize? And I think it's aligned with what you just said. Like I don't want to be dealing in relationships with people that don't feel ease. Like there's this like idea that dating somebody or trying to get to know somebody, whatever the case is, has to be hard. Like you have to go through growing pains and this and that. I'm like, it doesn't. It should feel easy. It should feel seamless. There may be bumps here and there, whatever the case may be, but like that's what I see as like the ultimate goal and prize. Like I want us to naturally fit, divinely. I want our energies to match. I don't want to have to like explain to you how you got me fucked up every other day. Like that's not the type of shit that
Right,
I'm.
but y'all are talking about the relationship dynamics. The
Well,
concept of the prize that we've been talking about has been how we shift our mindsets and approaching talking, dating, social
right,
scenes, and
right,
how we
right.
navigate those things. That's not the same thing as the relationship
No. But
needs that y'all been talking about.
so that's my thing. I think being the prize does not have to be equated to like tangible assets. It doesn't have to be the money, the car. Like those things can come and go regardless of whatever. Being the prize is, I think, on more of a mental, spiritual level. Like being a prize is are you fucking emotionally
Nah,
intelligent?
that's not the frame of the conversation. This should have not been about spirituality. It was about statistics in Atlanta being black, educated, and uh well funded enough means you move
Skylar,
through
but those
social
are
scenes
all
differently.
those are all superficial
Of course.
preferences,
Yeah,
right? So my
yes.
question to
I'm just
you
saying
is,
that's the
okay,
frame.
if
You
if
entered
you're
a
framing
superficial conversation.
if you're framing your ideology, right, your behavior around those things as it relates to dating, quote, courtship, what is your, we would then have to ask you, what is your intent in that space?
What is my intent in
Is
viewing
your
myself as
intent
a
not,
prize? It's recognizing that I don't need to give more than I'm willing to get or give more than what I'm expecting. This is not about even being superficial or showing off my education or showing off my money. It's just recognizing that, again, statistically, black men, Atlanta, educated, blah, 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 that I have the luxury, I have the privilege to move with an audacity, to move with a confidence that society hasn't taught us that we can move with. It's not even about how I address you,
so
woman
Skylar,
I'm
let me
pursuing. I'm talking about
present
how I
this
navigate the space.
let me present this reality to you as a black man in America. Do you think your ancestors died and struggled and endured some of the most atrocious things in world history for you to gain all of this privilege and all of this education in this tax bracket to merely be self-absorbed
Clubhouse tea.
and only thinking about yourself. Because let's be clear, we are all born to die, right? And the people in which we create to replace us, i.e., our children, are in fact our legacy. So I'm asking you, did your ancestors do what they did and contend with white supremacy, literally creating policy to destroy Black families intentionally for you
Clubhouse
to
tea.
go out, gain those privileges off their backs to actually not create strong Black families?
Wait, how
Well, I
we
don't know.
how
I don't know how we got to. I don't know how we got to
Well,
narrating. No,
I
I
think
never.
my ancestors will
I
be
think it's
proud of me.
commotion.
bro.
Commotion.
I think
I
I'm
want to
doing them
respond.
I'm
I
doing
want
my
to
ancestors
respond.
something
I
real quick.
want
Can
to
I say
respond.
something?
I want to
I gotta
respond.
ask you,
I
what
want
was
to
your intent
respond.
in maneuvering in
I want to
dating? What's your
respond.
intent?
Great question. I don't think I think you have a misperception of what, like, the frame of the conversation and my individual, like, navigation. But this isn't even about how we how we create families, or even about American history or world history. This is just about really what I'm viewing as a feminist approach to dating. It's me recognizing that we are equally prizes. We are equally responsible for, like,
Clubhouse
giving
tea.
and feeling
Clubhouse tea.
affirmation and validation to each other. Not me pursuing you, not you expecting not you
Clubhouse
expecting a
tea.
pouring, but us pouring into each other. So I would imagine that this, what I'm viewing, so Skylar's feminist approach to dating will help sound a really, really strong foundation that my ancestors could never dream of, because they were also shackled to a patriarchal concept of dating and family and dynamics of relationships and gender identities.
And just for
Can I
those who are
say something
for
real quick?
those who are just entering the room, I do want to just restate, like, we've already spoken to the point of me really realizing my value as a man doesn't diminish your value as a woman. So for those of you who have that as, like, the immediate next point you want to make, don't raise your hand.
Boom.
Can I add
I just want to
something?
add real quick something. It's interesting to hear you say that. I think it was Skylar, because that implies that men who don't yet have the privilege of having had an education or haven't had the privilege of self-actualizing in that way, which is ultimately just materialistic, like, realizations of themselves, are any less of a prize, and they're not. And it's like, so if we're basing off, like, it's interesting coming from another culture also, because I come from a culture where women are seen as the prize. And what happens in societies, like, when they do these things, when they equate to someone being a prize based off of things in the material world, self-actualizing, it's like, okay, what about when you lose your job and all your money and everything you've ever worked hard for? Because nobody's invincible. Is it like, are you less of a
Clubhouse
prize,
tea.
or are you like a prize as a human being because you are continuously wanting to show up and develop yourself and be there and serve others?
Exactly.
I think the privilege that we discussed was a vessel to get to the realization. It is not the reason for us being the prize. It's just us being able to have that conversation based on our circumstances. Our circumstances aren't what defines said prize. It just gave us the opportunity to see that.
I just wanted to add that statistically, men benefit more from marriage, right? Men benefit more from relationships. So if we're talking about a prize, men, they
I
come up
hate to
more
cut you off,
financially
sis.
when they're married.
Hate to cut you off, but this point has already been made. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. I just came in the room late, I guess. Okay.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you, though. If you have another point, we'll definitely hear you out.
I mean, I'm just listening to the
I think you muted yourself.
Oh, so she got
It's-
muted.
No, I'm good. I just wanted to come back to the point that I think that a lot of this, what it comes back down to, is men are oftentimes raised to see their value in what they bring to the table financially, and women are now doing the same thing, right? Which is why we're having this conversation. Are men actually the prize? And it comes down to never mind. I like my point and it went away because I
Clubhouse Tea. Clubhouse
It's
Tea.
okay.
I have a point. For me, I feel like the actual prize, this was to piggyback off the lady that was speaking about 20 minutes ago. The actual prize would be the fruit of my labor from me and my husband, from the connection that we could build. If a man can step in and actually know his value, if a man can step in and actually know his worth, if he knows how to speak the king's language, if he knows how to conduct himself, but also knows how to, unwind and chill with his homeboys, you know what I'm saying, do whatever he got to do. And the woman actually brings the same value, and the woman actually has on and off switch. We actually come together and actually create seeds, and then our seeds create seeds. I think if you want to be technical in human form, the prize would be the fruits of our labor. I mean, like the lady had said before, 20 minutes ago, before Tokyo Vanity had spoken. um, we both, if we could come together and both realize that the man is the prize and the woman that is the prize, then that right there would be a substantial covenant for our union. Once we already have the groundbreaking rules and the formation and just grounded in our union of who our actual, of what our actual union stands for. Then once we start creating seeds, and then our seeds start creating seeds, technically for me, that would be the prize. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, can
And
I
I
jump
just
in real
want to
quick?
say,
I mean,
And to get to
I just want to say too, real quick, like, as women that are empowered, like, there's nothing more that would make us happier than men
Clubhouse Tea.
self-actualizing and feeling empowered enough to feel like they're the prize. But in the same way we would want women to feel. I don't really think it's a gender issue as much as like a black people. Each human being individually should feel empowered to feel like they're a prize and feel like their time is ultimately the prize. It's their time that's the prize. And anybody who comes in is competing with their own time with themselves. So it's like, it makes us like, for me, it makes me happy for men to feel empowered to say that, because they've been, you know, abused by society in so many ways, especially black men. But we also need to find the balance to make sure we're not saying, okay, yeah, men are a prize and women are lucky to have us. That kind of idea is what follows a thought like this, I think.
no,
I think we should both remember that we're lucky to find each other, though. Like, losing sight of the fact that it's not really like, oh, he's the prize or I'm the prize. Like, I'm his prize and he's my prize. Like, you both found a prize. Once you get to like actually understanding that, then that's where like growth and actual like evolution of a relationship
I'm
can
I'm
happen.
sorry, but everybody's not a prize. It's just true.
Lydia.
But that's exactly why it's your prize,
Expound on
because
that.
you're
Expound
going
on
to
that.
attract like you're going to attract what you attract, and what you attract, you have to figure out like why you attracted that. Because once you attract something or someone that's like wrong, so to speak, or what you don't want, it's on you to figure. It's not that that person is a bad
Clubhouse
person.
Tea.
It's like, what did they teach
Clubhouse
you?
Tea.
Like, I know that I've learned, like, from relationship to relationship or fling to fling, whatever it may be. When I took out the trying to blame the other person and saw what they were actually saying to me, there was a lot of truth there. So whether it's in the middle of like fighting and arguing and all of those things, once you can get rid of your emotions and just like objectively see each other kind of thing, then, and see yourself more so and first, I think the growth actually starts there. And then you start to see who you're encountering different, rather than like, because like to say that like everyone isn't a prize, that means that you aren't either, because we're all reflections of each other.
Ooh.
And so if you attracted that,
Yes.
that's your reflection. So what are they saying to you?
Period. It's a mirror.
I
It's
agree.
literally a mirror.
Yeah,
So it's a
that's
testament
that's
to
when you're
your
dating
like
someone.
personal
Like, I
But
think
see,
value.
that part makes you, I'm
I
sorry,
think I get
everybody,
what
but
you're
that part
saying.
makes you take self accountability. And that's the part that
Absolutely, I
everyone
get
skips
what you're
over.
saying, but
Okay, thank you guys, everybody, for the conversation. It's actually gone on way longer than we thought it would. This is actually our first time actually doing a clubhouse, me, myself, and the moderators. So we'll just have the moderators say their final thoughts, starting with JT.
Yeah, so first of all, thank y'all for joining the conversation. This was like super dope, really insightful. I think it was a good forum for us to sort of dissect this idea that we men are the prize. I think what we sort of came to as a consensus is that both men and women are prizes, and we have to sort of approach relationships as equals, which I don't think is a net new thought. But to be honest, like us sort of going through this discussion has helped shine a different light on some of the different
Clubhouse Tea.
experiences that people have had across the board. I'm really excited to continue to do this. I think it's a really good forum, and I hope to see y'all come back soon.
Cool. I'll go next.
Gianni, go ahead, Josh.
Yeah, I think this was a good dialogue. I think what everybody has to remember is that this is honestly all subjective. So there is no specific right or wrong. Again, like to somebody who said not everybody's a prize. Somebody may be a prize to somebody. So this is still good dialogue, and I appreciate the educational, things that I learned today.
I agree with both. Very good perspectives. This is exactly what we wanted. And I hope that people took away a lot from this conversation.
All right. For me, again, like everybody else said, really, really great conversation. We live in believe it or not, and whether we want to acknowledge it or not, we live in a patriarchal society. Like we know what the title of this forum would create, and it's exactly what we discussed. We went back and forth. I think we came to a consensus in a way. Men are the prize, women are the prize. Let's treat each other like prizes, and we'll all live in this happy world that we all want to live in.
Skylar.
Appreciate y'all. Love y'all.
So my name is Bola. Thank you guys for joining. I think JT has one more thing to say, but my final thoughts, as we all agree, I think men are the prize. Thank you so much.
You're trash, bro.
Thanks, Bola.
Very ridiculous.
As Bola was.
Very ridiculous.
Hey, follow Wavington on Instagram. I know the dog.
Hey man, it was nice meeting all y'all. I'll see y'all on Twitter or some shit.
Hey, before we head out, I know people are shouting out their handles and stuff. Follow me at The Weekender. We'll be curating more of these experiences. We also have questions that occur on a regular basis. Appreciate it. Y'all have a good one.
Thank y'all.
Appreciate y'all.